سلام خدمت دوستان. سلام خدمت دوستان. فقط خواهشی دارم، صدای بنده رو دارید نه؟ آقای عزیزی، آقا دانیال، آقای احسان، عرضم به خدمتون آقای کاووس. سلام آقا نوح، سلام و آقای خدادادی استاد بنده هستن تو خیلی موارد، البته ایشون خودشون میدونن راجع به چی صحبت میکنن. عرضم به خدمتون صدای منم دارین. سلام و آقا امید سلام دارم خدمت شما، خیلی لطف کردین. سلامت شد. استاد پروین قربان، درس پس میدین، ایشون استاد بنده هستن. آقای پروین، آقای عزیزی مجدد، بله، آقا وحید، آقا کوروش. خب دوستان، من یه چیزی تا قبل از که آقای موچانا به همون ملحق بشن عرض کنم خدمتتون. ما طبق روال گذشته‌ای که بوده یه تعداد حدود نزدیک 4 تا، یعنی 4 تا سوالی که از ایشون می‌خوام بپرسم. فقط یه خواهشی دارم دوستان، ما فرصتمون با آقای موچانا کم هستش. سلام آقا محمد عزیز از شیراز و آقا خلیل منصورزاده، سلام از شد. آقا محمد رضا، سلام عرض می‌کنم خدمتتون. آقا بهادر، ما زیاد شما زحمت دادیم، عرض می‌کردم خدمتتون. حالا دوستان کم اضافه شدن. طبق روال گذشته که با این دوستان صحبت کردم، من یه تعدادی سوال مطرح کردم که این سوال‌ها رو دوستان قراره جواب بدن. در ارتباط با شخص آقای الکسی مولچانو باید خدمتتون عرض کنم ایشون خیلی گرفتاری کاری زیاده، یعنی الان کرونا کارشون رو بیشتر هم کرده، بدتر هم شده. یعنی اینکه شرایطی که همش دائم در حال برگزاری سمینارها، وبینارها، صحبت کردن با جای مختلفه. این وسط هم یه فرصتی به ما دادن. آقا محمود گل، سلام. یه فرصتی به ما دادن که با ما هم یه گپ دوستانه کوتاهی داشته باشیم. سوالا کلیشه‌ای هستش، خیلی ساده و دوستانه است. یه گپ خیلی ساده و دوستانه است با ایشون افتخار دادن به ما. خودشون نمیدونن تو ایران چقدر محبوبن. خب ما نهایتا این قضیه رو میدونیم. عرضم به خدمتتون که من یه خواهشی دارم، اگر سوالی دارید، این جلسه برای اون کار نیست قاعدتا. حالا میتونید سوالاتون رو بپرسید، من کامنت رو باز باشم آزاد که دوستان اگر دوست داشته باشن، مایل باشن کامنت بذارن، امکانه داشته باشن که کامنت بذارن. اما مسئله که هست بیشتر باب آشنایی. خب برای ما میگم شاید خیلی مسائل غیر خارج از دسترس باشه. عرضم به خدمتون که مثلا این دوستانی که به عنوان قهرمانان حالا غواصی آزاد هستن شاید خیلی دور از دسترس باشن از نظر ما، ولی خب لطف دارن به بنده، لطف دارن به ما ایرانی‌ها و اینکه وقتشون رو گذاشتن تشریف بیارن و اینکه ما این لایو رو باهاشون داشته باشیم. منتظر آقای موچان هستیم. ایشون یه پیغام روی موبایل من دادن که یه چند دقیقه نیاز دارن برای اینکه بخوان ملحق بشن بهمون. اگر اجازه بدین تا ایشون بیان و جلسه‌مون رو شروع بکنیم. حالا دوستان که جدید اومدن من خیلی خلاصه عرض کنم خدمتتون. آقا چمدان گوبسی، عرضم به خدمتتون که این جلسه گپ دوستان است، بیشتر هدفیه از بله. آقای موچان الان پیغام به من دادن اون بالا که اوکی هستش. من فقط اجازه بدین جواب ایشون رو بدم. نه مشکلی نیست. ایشون تشریف میارن حالا بعد ما با هم یک گپ دوستانه میزنیم. یه بحث خیلی جالبی که طی این لایوایی که حالا خیلی شاید بگم اتفاقی، یعنی واقعا با برنامه‌ریزی قبلی نبود، فقط سلام آقا احسان، عرضم به خدمتتون که خیلی جالب شد اینی که خب حالا به خاطر شرایطی که ایران داره، حالا این آیسولیشن یا این جدا شدن از جامعه بین‌الملل، حالا به دلایل حالا غیر از دلایل ایرانی بودن ما هست، یعنی که دلایل به قول معروف حالا منطقی سیاسی، بحثی که حالا ما دخل تصرفی درش نداریم و کنترلی نداریم و اینکه بالاخره با این جریان داریم زندگی میکنیم. یه مقدار فاصله افتاده بین ما و دنیای بیرون و اینکه خیلی برای این دوستان هم جذابه که تو این جلسات تشریف میارن و اینکه آشنا میشن با ما ایرانی ها و اینکه میبینن که این رشته توی ایران هم داره انجام میشه و چقدر اینا علاقه‌مند دارن در ایران و اینکه بعد از اینکه این جلسات اصولا تمام میشه من کلی دوباره فیدبک مثبت هم از خارج از کشور میگیرم هم با این دوستانی که باهاشون در اصل این جلسات رو برگزار میکنیم. امیدوارم اون صدای بنده کمه دوستان، اگر صدای بنده کمه میشه لطف کنید، چون آقای منصورزاده میفرمایند که صدای بنده ظاهرا کمه. اگر که صدای بنده رو ندارید یا ضعیفه، اگه لطف کنین پیغام بدین، اطلاع بدین که من. یه مسئله دیگه هم هست که چی می‌خواستم عرض کنم خدمت. صدا اوکی شد، خیلی خوب. این رسالت در اصل یه رسالت کلیه، سوای از هر سیستم خاصی، سوای از هر شخص خاصی یا مدرس خاصی. من فکر میکنم که این جلساتی که برگزار میشه خیلی 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 تأثیر داشته باشه در آینده کسایی که میخوان بیان این ورزش رو به صورت حرفه‌ای چه به صورت ریکریشنال. البته من خودم بیشتر طرفدار شاخه ریکریشنال هستم، اعتقاد دارم که غواصی آزاد برای همه هستش. اجازه بدین من یه چک بکنم ببینم ایشون تشریف آوردن یا خیر. یک لحظه اگر اجازه بدید. خب یک لحظه من عذرخواهی میکنم. بله ایشون اجازه بدید. اجازه بدید من ایشون رو بیارم بالا. هنوز تشریف نیاوردن ظاهرا. خب هنوز تشریف نیاوردن و اینکه منتظرشون هستیم تا تشریف بیارن. عرض میکردم بیشتر اون در اصل باب ایرانی بودن ما تو این قضیه خیلی پررنگه و اینکه برای اونها هم خیلی جالبه که در ایران اشخاصی هستن که انقدر راجع به این رشته علاقه دارن، دوستانی که شاید حالا در خارج از کشور هم انقدر توجه نشه، چون خب بالاخره رشته محجوبیه رشته غواصی آزاد. یعنی اینطوری نیست مثل فوتبال نیست، مثل کریستیانو رونالدو نیستن قهرمان رشته که همه جهان بشناسنشون، ولی در کل این رشته یه رشته هستش که کمتر شناخته شده است، ولی خب براشون خیلی جالبه که تو ایران چقدر این رشته شناخته شده هست. خب خوشوبشی بکنیم با دوستان. ببخشید اگر من یه سری اسما رو نگفتم یا صحبت یعنی پیغام سلام علیک فرستادن بنده نتونستم باشون سلام علیک کنم. بعضن خیلی کامنت ها رو نمیخونم و اینکه آیه منصورزاده، فکر میکنم آیه منصورزاده شما صدای دستگاهتون کمه، چون من الان دوستان میبینم دارن پیغام میدن میگن که صدا خوب هست. حالا من فکر میکنم صدای دستگاهتون رو یه مقدار بلندتر کنید، چون الان جوابایی که میاد اکثرا اینه که صدای بنده خوب میاد. بله ظاهرا که اینطوریه. همچنان منتظر آقای الکسی مولچانو، قهرمان غواصی آزاد جهان و رکورددار چند رشته از رشته های زیر مجموعه ورزش غواصی آزاد هستیم تاشون تشریف بیارن و ما اون جلسه لایومون رو با ایشون شروع بکنیم، یه گپ و گفتی بکنیم، چند تا سوالی که نوشتیم ازشون سوال بکنیم برای دوستانی که جدیداً به لایو ما پیوستن. بله آقای مولچانو هم اومدن، من ایشون رو میارم بالا که باهاشون صحبت کنیم. Hello Alexi, I will put you up so we can start our session.
Still waiting for
Alexi to come. Hey Alexi.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
It's a lot of sun here. I'm good.
That's great. I mean, I also wanted to do it outside in my balcony, but here I think it's a little bit warmer than there, and also the sun is more bright, so I decided to stay inside.
Yeah. Outside is also too sunny in Moscow right now. Very sunny.
Yeah, that's great. And okay, just to start our chat, you don't know how I mean, how much positive feedback I got from the people that they are now watching the live, and you can see, I think it's about 90 people online watching this, and I think you saw the repost of this event that you have come to have a live chat with us, and it was really an honor to have you here. And I think, and you don't know how much you are famous in this sport in Iran for the Iranians, and you don't know how much they like your work. They love you, and they would like to have you here with us and had a chat with an Iranian. So it's really great, and thank you so much with all the things that you had to be taking care of, like the webinars and seminars and stuff. You take some of your time and gave it to us. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Yeah, and I hope one day I will be able to come to Iran personally, so we can do some events and dive together.
That's great. That's great. I mean, if we can also start the Molchanov's training system here, it will be an honor for us to work alongside with you and to develop it in the region. It's a very nice event that can happen.
Thank you. Yeah, I will be happy to help with it, and we can work with you we can work out the plan, how to make it happen, how to start it.
Exactly. Okay, so we just have, I just do a quick translation to the audience and then I'll come back to you. Please excuse me for this delay. من یه خوشابشی کردم با آقای مورکانوف، گفتم که خیلی خوشحال کردن ما رو و نمیدونن که چقدر ایشون توی ایران معروف هستن و چقدر علاقه‌مند دارن و اینکه ایشون خیلی راغب هستن ظاهرا که تشریف بیارن ایران و میگم این جلسات خیلی خیلی برای ما فیدبک مثبت داشته. Okay, I think maybe you have seen other lives that I did with other people like Oli Christian and also the Y40, the executive manager. I don't know if you watch them or not, but I guess not because you're so busy and we understand that. But the routine of what we do, because we have also short period of time with you, I just prepared 4 questions so we can fit inside 30 minutes time that we have together. So it's actually some sort of chit chat question. It's not something specific or very technical, but we'll be happy if you can reply to those questions.
Sure. Let's go.
Okay. The first one is دوستان من الان توضیح دادم بهشون که هدف ما بیشتر همین بحث چت دوستانه هستش و اینکه نمیخوام خیلی وقتشون رو بگیریم. 4 تا سوال بیشتر نیست که من مطرح کنم. The first one is why did you choose to do freediving in first place? And where did it all start? And were you a good freediver in the beginning? This is something that I think most of the people here wants to know.
Okay. So I started freediving even before this, it started to develop as a sport. So I think most of the people around the world also always have been diving and freediving, right? So it's I was freediving when I was a kid, when I was 5 years old. So I was a swimmer. I was learning how to swim when I was 3 years old. So I was very good with swimming by 4 years and 5 years. And at 5 years old, we traveled to the Black Sea in Russia and dive in this Black Sea and look at the fishes, and then every year when I was 6, 7, 8, 9, we would travel to this Black Sea and collect seashells, mussels. And I was really in love with this diving as a kid. And then when I became 17 years old, when I was finishing school and starting university, I heard about the sport. My mom started the sport before me. So my mom, Natalia, started the sport. Yeah, and then she started first, and 1 year after her, I joined. So I basically followed my mom, when she was traveling, competing, and then I was like, okay, I really like this activity as well. I will try.
Okay, that's great. And I mean, when you started as a professional to do freediving, were you good at it, or you just, you had problems like equalization problems, like the flexibility problems? Because Oli, he said he had a lot of problems and he had to deal with it. Yeah.
So for me, it was very good progress in the beginning because of my foundation, because of my experience before with the swimming. So as a swimmer, I had good flexibility, I had good technique, very good style. So very quick, I became quite strong as an athlete. So I started freediving 2004 when I was 17 years old. And then 2005, after 1 year and a half, in September 2005, I already was diving to 83 meters in the World Championship, and I was the seventh in the World Championship.
Amazing.
In depth, in the first depth World Championship in France. And in the first pool World Championship, it was first AIDA pool individual World Championship. I did 2 medals already. So after 1.5 years, I got silver and bronze medal in the pool, in the dynamic with fins and dynamic no fins.
No fins. I'll just do a quick translation and I'll come back to you again. من ازشون پرسیدم چرا شما غواصی آزاد رو انتخاب کردین و اینکه این قضیه از کجا شروع شد و آب و در ابتدا آیا کار شما خوب بوده یا نه. ایشون میفرمایند که از سن خیلی کم، مثلا 3 سالگی 4 سالگی به نزدیک دریای سیاه در روسیه رفته بودن، اونجا صدف‌ها و شل که داخل آب بودشون دایو می‌زدن و اونا رو پیدا می‌کردن و از اون موقع خیلی علاقه‌مند بودن. ایشون رشته اصلیشون هم شنا بوده. بعد اینکه بزرگتر شدن، خب مادرشون خانم مالچنووا خیلی معروف هست، همه میشناسید. ایشون این کارو شروع کردن به صورت یه ورزش، بعد ایشون هم شروع کردن به در اصل دنبال کردن اون قضیه و این کار انجام دادن و سال 2004 یا 2005 اگر دقیق حضور ذهن ندارم چون از تو ذهنم میره خیلی صحبت میکنیم، ایشون چند تا قهرمانی داشتن که بعد به همین ترتیب اضافه شده و در سالیان دیگه به قهرمانیاشون اضافه شده و اینکه الان ایشون قهرمان جهان هستن. اول یه مسئله دیگه، در اول هم میگن خب به خاطر اون فونداسیون خوبی یا فاندیشن خوبی که داشتن، به خاطر بک‌گراند ورزشیشون خیلی سریع پیشرفت کردن. بله، ایشون از اول یک فری دایور خوب بودن و اصولا مشکلی نداشتن. Okay, that was very cool to hear that because most of the free divers, you know, they had this not so good background, you know, because they had a lot of problem, but this is something else about what you have what you did, I mean, passed through all these years. So you were good at the beginning, and this is something a little bit remarkable and different than the other people in the sport. Okay, the second question is that why did you feel that we need another training system? What didn't other training systems had that the Molchanov's freediving have now? And what was it that you decided to have a separate system? What was in your mind? Was there like lack of something in other systems? So you're developing new sort of things or not? I'll just do a quick translation and then I'll come back to you. Okay. سوال دوم این هستش که چرا شما احساس کردید که ما نیاز به سیستم آموزشی دیگه داریم؟ سیستم آموزشی دیگه چیزی کم داشتن که در سیستم مولچانو شما این قضیه رو برطرف کردین یا بهش اضافه کردین؟ Back to you, if you please explain to us.
Okay. So, about their start of the development of the system, it's something that my mom started to develop, and it's her professional education. So she's a professional educator. That's her university education. And when she started freediving, she saw that in their education systems around the world, in the agencies, there is no progression in training for freedivers. There is only courses. So there is a copy of diving industry, which most of the agencies adopted for freediving. And it's not the same because freediving is very different from diving. If in diving, it's no like development of skills like in freediving. It's not so. It's not a sport, right? In freediving, even though it can be practiced as an activity like for fun, for traveling, for adventures, still you need to develop skills. You need to actually train your skills, breath hold, stretching, endurance, and CO2 resistance. So all that is part of the training. So basically having only courses doesn't make sense for freediving. Like companies who wants to grow freediving much better than it was done before, it doesn't make sense as an approach in a whole, right? And then like diving companies, like they don't have this knowledge, they don't have this expertise or even understanding or interest, right? So most of the companies in the world, like especially diving companies, the main interest for them is just certification and number of certificates and like just these pure reasons, and not having freediving in the heart. And we as actual freedivers, my mom is an actual freediver originally, like I wanted to grow the community, wanted to help the community to train and to become better. And beside the courses, so the courses were designed as a master classes, as like something you do over weekend, over like a week when you travel, but then as a connecting path between the courses, or also as a direction on its own. Like now currently we grow our system and we evolve it, so it could become like an actual path where freediving is learned through training. And then the methodics, how to train, and all their exercises and workouts you can do by training, that's something was unique for worldwide freediving community. And then it's something which we started doing in Russia originally, and it gave really, really good results for our community, because we had a lot of strong athletes. We had my mom and her like she was using these methodics herself. I was using these methodics of training myself, and the Russian team, national team, like not only us but also other divers were really, really strong. So this approach was really helpful for a lot of free divers and very helpful for like progression. And then eventually, like now, for the last several years, we started to grow this system in the world, and we translated that. And then with our team, our international team, we have with the Molchanov's team, we have a lot of desire, a lot of passion to spread my mom's original system and improve it with the current knowledge, but spread it worldwide, and to show freedivers the new way of learning freediving, the new way of training freediving, how to become a good freediver, and to grow this worldwide community. So here, that's the unique thing about our system, unique expertise of our team in the system as well. And there, I think the best thing why people love our system as well, because it's made by like us, by freedivers. It's not made by like people who have no experience in training or who have no experience in actual freediving. So like that's the reason why we are like, I think it's so successful.
That's very nice thing to hear that. I think you can say from the smile on my face that I'm 100%, I'm excited. I mean, I'm more than 100% agreed with you on that. Freediving is a lifestyle, as I believe myself. Freediving isn't something that you just do to get a certification or something. Freediving is a way of life. Freediving is a mentality to be a freediver. Freediving is a progression, is a long progression to become from an ordinary man to, the movement from an ordinary guy to someone that who we can call him or her, a freediver. I 100% accept that, and I 100% agree with you on that. And this is exactly the way I think about freediving. So this was the thing that was in your mind, and it's remarkable. And I believe that you are going to conquer the world with this Molchanov movement and freediving system. And this is something that you made us very happy. I mean, made the whole world very happy to think, like that and to develop like that. I just do a quick translation because it was it was a little bit long, so I just do very quickly translation. I'll come back to you. خب دوستان، یه صحبت خیلی جالبی کردن ایشون. صحبتی که ایشون کردن این بود که چرا مولچانوف رفتن. مادرشون خب یه بک‌گراند آموزشی داشتن و شروع کردن به طراحی سیستمی برای غواصی آزاد که این کار انجام بشه در دنیا. مشکل کجا بوده؟ مشکل این هستش که به اعتقاد ایشون و به اعتقاد خود من سیستم هایی که در غواصی آزاد که در دنیا هستن بسیار 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 مدرک محور هستن. یعنی به این شکل هستن که شما وارد یه سیستم میشید، یا آموزشی رو توی مدت زمان خاصی میبینید، یه سرتیفیکیت میگیرید و خوشحالید که اون کارت یا اون پوستر رنگی رو دارید و اون میشه در اصل بک‌گراند یا سابقه پیشینه غواصی آزاد شما. در صورتی که ایشون میگن در مولچانوف اینطوری نیست. یه پروسه طولانی مدت از تمرین، نحوه‌های تمرین کردن و عرضم به خدمتتون که یک پروسه طویل المدته برای اینکه شما از یه فرد عادی تبدیل بشید به یک غواص آزاد و بعد غواص آزاد حرفه‌ای و یا مسابقاتی. اختلاف سیستم مولچانو با سیستم‌های دیگه طرز فکره و یه اختلاف بزرگ دیگه میکنه. اشخاصی که تو این زمینه دارن کار میکنن روی این سیستم همشون متخصص و غواص آزاد هستن. شما دیدین آقای اولی کریستن که ایشون من باشون مصاحبه کردم، همکاری میکنن با آقای مولچانو. آدم فریدایور که یکی از اشخاصی هستن که اینا تمامشون یعنی سیستمی هست که طراحی شده توسط غواصان آزاد برای غواصان آزاده و این اختلاف اساسی سیستم مولچانو با سیستم‌های دیگه هست. You have really great people around you to developing Molchanov freediving system, like Adam Freediver. He's so fun even watching when he talks, this is something that almost not everyone is perfect at. So, or even Oli Kristen, that I think he's cooperating with Molchanov system. And he's also, I had a lot of positive feedback when we had the first live chat with Oli Kristen, and everyone said that how come that someone is so easy telling things and so for everyone, so everybody can understand about the aspects, about the issues, and how to solve it. It's actually, I think, a specialty to do it the way that you are doing it now, as I believe, and I think the rest of the audiences, they believe that. Mm-hmm. So thank you so much for this way of expanding, thinking and expanding your system and developing through all the world.
Thank you for the support. Yeah. And about the team, just a quick note about the team. That's exactly why I think we have this momentum and with the movement right now, and with the education system, training system, with the movement, because we have a really great team, like you said, like Adam and Oli. Oli's our director of WAVE program, and we have Vitomir, who is the director of the base training program, and we have also like Chris Kim, who is our head of like CEO for the company right now. He's also supervising and like guiding this WAVE and like the whole movement program. So that's just having a great team really like makes the whole difference, basically.
That's great. That's great. And plus that you have very shiny suits with that fin. I really like it. I think I'm going to get for one for myself. I really in love with the logo, and you did a very nice job with the logo too.
And you know the story behind the logo?
It comes from a dolphin or something, which I think
no. So the idea behind the logo is actually it's so it shapes as a fin tail, right? As a like whale tail or dolphin. So it shapes like that. But if you look closely, it's a two of them. So and it looks like M. So it looks like basically original creation idea was that it's me, because we created the brand, the Molchanovs brand, 2010. And original idea is that it's my mom and me, because we created it in Russia, and it's big M is my mom and small m is me. So it's like a family, like it's family brand. It's plural. It's not Molchanov like my brand. It's like a plural Molchanovs, because it's my mom and me, and it's double M.
That's great. That's great. Is it something that you have issued to other people to know about the logo, or is it the first time that you're talking about it for the general audiences about the logo?
Well, I don't think we have this description actually on their website for the wide audience. I don't speak about it often, so it's like
so we are the first one.
Yeah, you heard about it. I'm sure I'm told the story for like before, and maybe we should tell the story more so people know about it. But that's so that's the origins of the brand. You can also translate this.
That's great.
That's the story.
Okay, I'll just do a quick translation. I'll come back to you. خب دوستان، مسئله که هستن، حالا اون اشخاصی که توی سیستم مولچانوف دارن با سیستم مولچانوف کار میکنن، ایشون اونا رو عنوان کردن که تمامشون افراد حرفه‌ای هستن، یعنی غواصان آزاد حرفه‌ای هستن که توی زمینه مثلا خود آقای اولی کریستن سمتشون رو خاطرم نمیاد، فکر کنم مدیر اجرایی فکر میکنم، اگر حالا شاید درست نگم فراموش کرده باشم، سیستم مولچانوف هستن. و اینکه یه چیز خیلی جالب، برای اولین بار من بهشون گفتم که من اون لباس شما رو خیلی خوشم میاد، خیلی قشنگه، مخصوصا اون لوگوی تیلی که یعنی بالی که روی سینه‌شه. ایشون گفتن که میدونی از کجا اومدی این ایده؟ گفتم نه خب باید یه بالای دلفینه. گفت نه، اون اگه دقت کنید دو تا ام انگلیسی که داخل همه، ام بزرگ مادر ایشون هستش خانم مولچانووا، و ام کوچیک وسطی خود الکسی مولچانوف، یعنی اون دو تا ام داخل همه. این ایده از اونجا اومده و من ازشون پرسیدم که جای دیگه به صورت عمومی قضیه رو عنوان کردن، گفتن نه. پس میتونم بهتون بگم که ما اولین یعنی گروهی هستیم که به صورت رسمی ایشون راجع به لوگوشون با ما صحبت کردن و این خیلی جالب بود که من احساس کردم بعد راجع به صحبت کنم. Okay, I'm going to ask the fourth question, then we go back to the third question, which is I think in this way it's much better to if I switch these two questions. The fourth, the next question is that do you have physical or any genetic advantages to become champion of the world, or was it your passion and commitment to the sport that puts you here now? I just do a quick translation and I'll come back to. ازشون پرسیدم که شما آیا از لحاظ ژنتیکی یا فیزیکی توانایی خاصی دارید که شما رو در جهان اول کرد، یا فقط عشق و علاقه شما به این ورزش هستش که الان شما رو توی این موقعیت قرار داده. Back to you if you can please explain to us.
So for the top performances, for sure, like for the real like world record level, like it's important to have some genetic like qualities, like their talent, which otherwise would be really hard to obtain through like if they like, just don't have these qualities. So for the world records levels, it's true that some people are more like, for some people it's easier to progress and to get there. For really strong level, let's say like 70% of the world record or 60% of the world, so really big numbers anyway, right? So let's say like depth wise, it's like diving 80 meters, diving 90 meters of depth, diving 70, 80, 90. That's something like anyone can reach with a good enough motivation, enough like time spent. So it's just like for some people it's obviously harder, for somebody it's easier. And for me, I think I'm in a way the main reason why I was able to progress so fast and what I had different compared to like people who didn't were not able to reach my level yet is my past and my training by my mom as a kid. So I've not only being a swimmer as well, but in general, even when I was a kid, we were doing some breath holds. We were doing some small fun competitions, not really like real competitions, but like some fun competitions with my mom and with the other kids. So I just remember these breath holds being part of the game for me, even when I was a kid, when I was 6, 7, 8 years old. And I'm not sure if it's like something really like developed, but it's something I was developing since like long time, since I was a kid. So probably like if like we look forward and we see future generations of freediving, we see much more freedivers, like much more talented freedivers coming, because if we start to develop freedivers from the kids' age, then it will be like a good foundation, good skills, which takes a lot of time to develop. So I think for the biggest difference for me, just having all those skills, having all this like thousands of kilometers of training. For example, I was counting how many kilometers I was swimming before I got 17 years old. And I did more than 30,000 kilometers in swimming trainings when I was a swimmer. So I did a lot of kilometers, a lot of practice, a lot of development of the heart, a lot of development of the lungs, right? So it's all skills. It's development of their actual not only skills but also organs, like heart development, lung development. So my heart rate when I'm resting, my night heart rate is about 35, 36 beats per minute. So when I'm sleeping, my heart rate is very low, which you can develop as well. Like if you have enough passion, if you have enough motivation, you can do a lot of training in the pool, like running, cycling, all those sports, like aerobic sports. They develop your lungs, they develop your heart. So you can lower your heart rate from 60 to like 50 to 40 if you're training a lot. So that's possible for sure. But just like I did it when I was a kid, so I don't have time. I don't have like a necessity to do it now. I can focus on specific skills. I can focus on equalization, on relaxation, on flexibility and stretching more, right? So it all takes time, and that's like basically the sooner you start to develop the skills, the better, right? So I was lucky enough that my mother pushed me or showed me. She didn't really push me. I liked it a lot. But she showed me this swimming world, so I became a swimmer. She showed me like this freediving world, so I became a freediver. So I think it's all like in a lot of reasons why I became so good in freediving is because of my parents, because of my mom, and then they give me these skills, they give me this opportunity, and I used it, right? So that the parents there, like I think they like play a huge role in that, in development of their kids, right? And
of course,
also, I think that's the reason for my success. And my mom was also very good at making it interesting. So she was showing me the freediving, and swimming, but she was also taking me to like taekwondo classes, martial arts. I was doing martial arts for a couple of years. I was doing table tennis, ping pong for a couple of years. I
love ping pong.
Yeah, I love it too. I was playing violin for 7 years. I was going to musical school and playing violin for 7 years. So like all these things, they kept me like busy and developing, and I think that's like I'm just very thankful to my mother for like spending all her time and all this effort to raise me this way, right? So I think this is the difference. This is how we should raise the future champions from the kids' age, and that's why in Emotionals we are like actually we'll have kids program international launch like pretty soon. We already have 5 years of development and 5 years of experience of doing kids program in Russia for freediving.
Amazing. Just to let you know, I also come from a swimming background. I also owe that to my mom because she was also pushing me to do that sport. And I was like in a period, like 2-3 years, I was swimming crazy, like maybe a couple of kilometers a day, like maybe 10-12 kilometers a day. So I didn't count how much I swam myself, but it was a lot, I guess. Yes. I just do a translation. It was a little bit longer than I have expected, but thank you for the details and for the explanation. I just do a quick translation and I come back to you for the final question. ایشون میگن من ازشون پرسیدم میگن که نه بحث پیشرفت در داستان غواصی آزاد صرفاً بحث ژنتیکی نیست. میگن البته برای اعماق زیاد مثلا حالا برای اون تاپ لولی که حالا خودشون درش هستن بله ممکنه که یک سری چیزها رو به صورت ژنتیکی یا فیزیکی یک غواص نیاز داشته باشه تا بتونه به اون لول ها برسه، اما به طور کلی نه. مثلا میگن تا 70-80 متر تقریبا اکثر آدما با تمرین و با تکنیک صحیح میتونن خودشون رو برسونن. ایشون نظرشون این هستش و اینکه خب ایشون یه بک‌گراند دریایی داشتن، یعنی از زمان بچگی حالا مادرشون خیلی ترغیبشون میکرده برای اینکه شنا بکنن. حالا شنیدین احتمالاً ویولون بزنن، میگن خیلی این قضیه هم برای ما جذاب میکرد چون سویچ میکرده، مثلا از شنا کردن بعد ویولون زدن بعد مثلا ورزش‌های رزمی توی همین زمینه‌ها کار کردن. اما به طور کل ایشون میگن که در ارتباط با اون سوال مشخص میگن که صرفاً نیاز به یک توانایی خاص ژنتیکی نیست و میشه این که با یک در از تمرین تا خیلی عمقا با تمرین و تکنیک میشه رسید. و اینکه یه برنامه دیگه هم توی سیستم مولچانو در نظر دارن، طراحی سیستم مولچانو از سن پایین، چون اعتقاد دارن که از سن پایینه که میشه روی ورزشکارا کار کرد و اینکه ورزشکارای حرفه‌ای برای آینده ساخت. و توی سیستم مولچانو الان بعضیا دارن بررسی میکنن که از اون لول خیلی پایین، یعنی در از کورسی یا کلاسی طراحی بشه برای آموزش بچه‌های کوچیک که بتونن بیان بالا. Okay, for the final question, because I think we are close to 30 minutes of your time, just as a final question, in recreational freediving, is it normal to experience blackouts or LMCs, and it can't be avoided, or it is inevitable on the way to become a world-class freediver like you, or you can become a champion without even one blackout or LMC in general?
Well, there is a difference, LMC and blackout. Like with LMC, it's more chances to have it in a way that if you're pushing for the records, you can potentially have some small LMCs in training, and if it's supervised, so basically if you have, as you should, everybody should have a partner, should have a coach, should have a body who is supervising them. So when you're preparing for competition, sometimes you can push a little bit and have a small LMC, and then with more experience, basically you start to feel even being at the limit when nobody else sees this. Like, so for top freedivers, and I know myself, and I was talking to Goran Cholak, I was talking, like you surface sometimes and you breathe, and from outside you're totally fine. You breathe properly, everything is fine. But on inside, you feel a little shake. You feel like a little bit of like 1 second of shake. So basically it's already LMC. So basically when you're really getting ready for the serious competitions, for the world records, there you go to the limit, and it's part of the training, it's part of their preparation, and it's of course not good to push to LMC like constantly, or to blackout especially. Like the blackout is undesirable at all. Like for sure we don't want blackouts. Blackouts happen only when there is a mistake.
I just stop you for a second here.
Sure.
دوستان این قسمتش خیلی مهم بود. آقای الکسی مورکانو میگه LMC ها در زمانی که شما دارید برای بحث قهرمانی و رکوردهای بالا کار میکنید یه پدیده هستش که خب واقع میشه، ولی خب با اون مدرسی که بالا سرتونه و اینکه حالا اون کوچی که داره باتون کار میکنه این قضیه قابل هندل کردنه، قابل بررسی. اما بلک هات ها یعنی به خصوص دارن نشون میگم بلک اوت ها چیزیه که ما به طور کل میخوام ازشون دور باشیم. So we have to avoid blackouts as much as possible. Yes?
For sure. Yeah, we have to avoid blackouts as much as possible. That's correct. And they only come from the mistake, right? So if you do mistake, potentially you can you can have blackout. And everyone, we are humans, so we do mistakes, right? So it's very easy. It's a very easy connection. And if you like, there is only one freediver that I know, like that was doing really deep dives and had no blackouts. It's Martin Stepanek, but he also finished freediving a long time ago. So he was not present for the last 10 years in the competition game. And the last 10 years competition game becomes much more tight, much more hard, right? So I think nowadays, like it's possible. It just takes a lot of focus, a lot of control to really turn early, right? So that's a hard decision to make when you're doing deep dive, like when to turn, how to turn early, because on the like going to the bottom, you're relaxed, you have a lot of oxygen, so it's hard to make decision. And you need to make this hard decision to turn in time if you feel like you're not prepared completely well. And like as an example, I can say about my own development, right? So when I was a beginner freediver, when I was 17 years old, of course I was a teenager. Of course I was not really smart, right? And then I was talented, but not very smart. Well, maybe I was
high-headed.
Yeah, high-headed. So I had blackouts when I was a kid because I was like, okay, I have this skill, I will go forward. And I had, not a kid, when I was like 18 years old, or already like a teenager, adult. But I learned, and that was my mistakes, which I learned. And part of the reasons I'm successful now is because I had a lot of mistakes. I was disqualified in the competition for, I think, all violations of the rules. I would, like one time in the World Championship, I was disqualified before the dive even. So I was preparing for the dive, breathing, and I missed the official top part, or like I didn't remember the rule where you cannot. It was 2006, 2007. I was beginner free diver, but I was already diving 90 meters plus, and I exhaled in the water. Basically, I was holding the rope and like exhaled in the water, raised my head, started packing. And then the judge said, "Okay, Alexei, you finish your dive. Thank you. You can go." so like all this and like a lot of other mistakes, and then you learn from this. It's just with blackouts, you don't want to take chances. Everybody should know, like spearfishers especially, everybody should know everybody does mistakes. So as a freediver, you should be very careful. You cannot be 100% guaranteed that one day you will not feel unwell. You will feel like you have, like, at some point you can dive down, like, and then you feel fatigue, you feel tired, you feel more stress, and you're in danger. So like we are humans, we do mistakes, and we should know that, and we should consider this in our dives, and not take chances. Make sure you have a proper safety, and that's, I think, the most risky part of group of freedivers is spearfishers, right? For those who do spearfishing,
there are a lot now watching this.
Yeah, and that's the most risky part, because you get excited. You get like, okay, I gotta get this fish, and then one day you might feel not 100%, right? We wake up, we feel some days 100%, some days we feel 70% or 80% of ourselves. That means our normal, and we push to the limits because of excitement. And our limits, like if we feel unwell, they can reduce by like a lot, like 30-40% on some days easily. And that's the reasons for spearfishers to be really, really careful and really learn good techniques for breathing, good techniques for diving, improve their breathing, improve their technique in finning, because if you're efficient with finning, you become more efficient and safe. Spearfisher, right? Yeah. So that's the general.
And the overweight also is another problem. Overweight.
Yeah. So freediving is the foundation for spearfishing. There is no way around it. To become a good spearfisher, you need to become a good freediver. And learn breath hold, learn relaxation, learn technique, learn mental control. And and then just like blackouts in general, I think like all freedivers should be knowing, or they're diving below 50% of their limits, like really safe zone, really like below 50 in a safe zone. And otherwise, if you want to push the limits, you need to push it in training, like with a safety, with a good control. And another thing about 50% concept, like being really safe, like really with the time and the depth and distance, is that if you do repetitions of those, you're in danger again, because you cannot repeat 10 times 50% of your potential maximum and be the same in the end, right? If you do repetitions, you get tired towards the end, so you cannot even do like safely 50%. So that's important to remember. We cannot rely on this 50% rule. We should dive even less, and we get tired. And then if we do repetitive dives, sometimes for one dive, it's easier to prepare without hyperventilation. You relax, you prepare well. But for repetitive dives, you overbreathe in between of them, so it becomes easier and easier and easier and easier towards like the 10th dive, or like towards the 20th dive, and then we are in more danger again, because we are more fatigued, but also we reduce sensitivity of our receptors, receptors. So that's the tricky part about repetitive dives concerning spearfishers, and in general, like just like being aware that we are humans and we do mistakes, so not pushing the luck is the very important idea.
Fine. Okay. And just to make sure, I mean, hearing this from you, I mean, as a champion of the world, is very influencing the audiences here. I'm sure that it's something that they wanted to hear it from someone like you. Otherwise, maybe there are unbeliefs, in that. But when you say it, I think it's a very great thing to hear it from you, and it's very influential. And so just to be more specific, is blacking out in recreational diving area, I mean, and also competitive free diving, is it still can happen in recreational free diving commonly, like as common as competitive free diving, where you push your limits, like you go beyond 60, 70, 80 meters? What do you think about
that? So in recreational free diving, no, like it's not as common for sure, because in competition people tend to push their limits. In recreational free diving, if people know safe practice, safe ways to breathe, to dive, it's not common unless they do repetitions, like I said. Like even like recreational free diver, if they start to train and they start to do repetitive dives in the pool, for example, like you said, it's like it can be risky with the repetitive dives, because then even unexperienced free diver can lower their sensitivity to CO2, and then they get to the danger zone, right? So in one dive, it requires a lot of like focus, a lot of effort to get to your limit. In repetitive dives, it's more dangerous. So in repetitive dives, the recreational, like free diver who's doing repetitive pool dives, like 50-meter repetitions, for example, or 60, 70, 80-meter repetitions in the pool, is in danger. Yes, it's not allowed to do this alone. If you do like depth dives, well, if you do 50-meter deep dives, same thing. Like it's a big effort as well. And if you do it one time, it's more safe. But if you do repetitive dives, it's not. First of all, you cannot do more than, like, let's say 2 of those dives, 3 of the dives, and feel okay. You will be very tired. But if you, for example, do repetitive even 20, 30 meter dives with some bottom time, you do repetitions of those, it also becomes unsafe because you're getting tired through repetitions, right?
So it has to be avoided. I mean, repetitive
dives. It has to be avoided, or you have to have a safety next to you. So if you do repetitive dives, like deep dives, 20, 30 meters all the time, you should have someone supervising you, or you should have a long rest and really be very attentive to your time and to your efforts, right? So like having a timer alarm, so like having a time alarm, having a depth alarm. But basically, if you know your experience like a diver, you can move not only static breath hold, but move for 2 minutes. So your dive times should be like less than 1 minute, right? While moving. So like really have a good control over that. But yeah, in competition we can see more of this, because it's like really people go for the records, but still it's within like 3, 4, 5% usually in competitions. But in recreational freediving in general, it's rare. It's very hard to get blackout in recreational freediving unless you do repetitive dives and get tired.
Okay. Just for few seconds. ایشون میفرمایند که در غواصی آزاد این صحبتشون من از اول برمیگردم صحبت میکنم. توی غواصی آزاد تفریحی چیزی که کاری که ما انجام میدیم میگن بسیار نادره. یعنی بحث بلک آوت شدن در غواصی آزاد. ایشون میفهمن اول صحبتشون که بحث بلک آوت شدن از اشتباه میاد. یعنی اشتباه باعث میشه که بلک آوت شه. این اشتباه میتونه اون تجربه نداشتنه باشه، اشتباه میشه مراحل رو به سرعت طی کردن باشه، اشتباه میشه خستگی باشه، اشتباه میشه اون دایوهای پشت سر هم یا ریپتیتیو دایو که ایشون میفرمایند باشه. این عاملی که میتونه مثلا میگن توی اسپیر فیشرها میشه این قضیه خیلی بیشتر واقع بشه، اتفاق بیفته، یعنی بحث بلک آوت و اینها به خاطر همون دایو پشت سر هم که میزنن. من ازشون پرسیدم که آیا این چیز خوبیه که مثلا کسی که از 20 متر به گفته خودشون چندین قرص متوالی میزنه حتی تو بحث آموزش این کار انجام میشه؟ میگه نه، باید این قضیه ازش دوری بشه و اینکه نیاز به استراحت کافی دارن و تمرین کافی دارن برای اینکه به اون حد برسن. پس به طور کلی بحث ببینید رد شدن از حدود و توانایی خودمون این باید با یه رویه بسیار آهسته و گام به گام. اگر شما بخواید یهویی از نقطه A به نقطه B نتیجهش میشه این بلک آوت هایی که حالا کمابیش واقع میشه، چون طبق گفته ایشون توی بحث غواصی تفریحی غواصی آزاد تفریحی این قضیه بسیار نادره، بسیار نادر. یعنی من خودم توی دوره آموزشی که داشتم نشدیدم کسی، یعنی ندیدم کسی بلک آوت بشه. مورد LFC داشتیم که البته ایشون میگن حالا بیشتر ممکنه اتفاق بیفته، اونم از اون قضیه عدم تمرکز و اون استرس و بیشتر جنبه منتالی یا روانی داشته که اومده اونجا واقع شده. ولی در کل دارم اینو بهتون میگم که این قضیه خیلی مهمه، اینو در نظر داشته باشید. I think I pushed the limits a little bit over with you because I had like 30 minutes but I'm talking for about 40-45 minutes for now. So thank you so much for your explanations and thanks again on behalf of all the people that they're watching this show now, that you joined us and they could hear all these from you yourself in a live chat, because it's very influential and I think they would love it. And I'm 100% sure that I'm going to receive lots and lots of positive feedback. I can send them to you, but they're mostly in Farsi, in Persian, so maybe I do a quick translation and send it to you. They're so excited. You can see from the messages that they're coming up. They just want to communicate with you. And okay, I just want to finish this session with you, and thanks again for being with us for this live show. And if there is anything to add to this conversation, please let us know. And for the finish of this conversation, there are a few people that just want to say their regards to you with their names. So Ali Azizi, Mr. Ehsan, also Javid, Amir, and a lot of people that just want to say hello in person. So also Farhad, which is my favorite student. I like him very much. Mr. Muhammad and all these, they are very happy to see you here. And on behalf of all of them, I just want to thank you and say their regards to you. And thanks for being with us for the time that you give us to have this live show with you.
Thank you for that. Thank you very much. And thanks to all freedivers from Iran. And thank you for having me. I think like not the last time we do this. Maybe we can be in touch and do it like sometime later as well. And I'll be happy to see the growth, how the community in Iran is growing there. If there is any progress in terms of like safety and spearfishing, in terms of results in freediving. So like maybe one day we see a team from Iran coming to the competitions, to the world championships, and so there is a lot of interesting like things to do in freediving. That's why I love personally freediving, why I chose this as my lifestyle, as my profession, is because there are so many things to do. And somebody asked in the feed, I saw if I'd tried spearfishing, so I tried it one time. I tried it with Adam freediver.
Sorry, I just explained to in Farsi.
And then just it will be great to see development of the community. And if anybody is looking who is not like this, who didn't discovered all the different interesting sides of freediving yet. So there is a lot to look for, right? Besides spearfishing and actual competitive freediving, there is adventures, traveling, like traveling to their whales and dolphins and like somewhere around the world. There is photography as well. So there is some hobby. I like photography myself, and there is some science as well.
Great.
So like doing freediving to do research and to like be a marine biologist. So a lot of ways to do freediving and like to enjoy it. So hopefully in Iran, like you will have a big growth of the community and big interest to that.
I just do a quick translation and then
Sure.
we say goodbye to you and thanks again. ایشون میفرمایند که بحث غواصی آزاد فقط بحث این کاری که ما میکنیم نیست، خیلی شاخه‌ها داره. عکاسی داره که ایشون خودشون علاقه‌مند به عکاسی هستن. اون بحث مسافرت‌ها، دیدن نهنگ‌ها، حالا دلفین‌ها، جانوران دریایی، بحث تحقیقات راجع به پستانداران دریایی، اینا همه در اصل زیر مجموعه این رشته هست و ایشون خیلی خوشحالن که این قضیه در دنیا داره فراگیر میشه و همچنین توی ایران و دوست دارن که دوباره ما در ارتباط باشیم برای گفتمان بیشتر، ارائه اطلاعات، رد و بدل کردن اطلاعات و ایشون هم از این قضیه که حالا ظاهرا اتفاق افتاده خوشحال خرسند هستن. I myself really enjoy talking with you live on this Instagram show and I hope that you like to spend your time with us for a while and wish to see you again soon, maybe on other more specific live chats if you have time. I'm sure that you are very occupied with the things that you do right now because of the coronavirus. So after that, maybe if you have time, you will honor us. We are honored to have you here, and we're going to be very happy to talk with you again on more specific subjects. Maybe in future.
Thank you for that. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And have a great afternoon and hope to see you soon. And thanks again.
Have a good afternoon too. Bye-bye.
Bye. Cheers. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. خب دوستان امیدوارم که لذت برده باشین. واقعا شاید برای خود منم یه مقداری سخته، یعنی خب جلوی کسی نشستن و صحبت کردن راجع به غواصی آزاد که مرزهای در اصل غواصی آزاد رو جابجا میکنن، مثل صحبت کردن برای یه فوتبالیست معمولیه با مثلا کریستیانو رونالدو. برای من یه همچین حسی داره. واقعا سخته. من خودم یه مقداری استرس داشتم که بتونم در اصل این لایو رو خوب مدیریت کنم، حالا در اصل به اون نقطه‌ای که میخوایم برسونیم. اما خب ایشون ظاهرا خیلی خوشحال بودن از این قضیه و از این صحبت که با بنده داشتن و اینکه کامنت ها رو میدیدن. مرسی، چون این حالا کامنت ها شاید خیلیشون به فارسی باشه. ایشون امیر جان گفت که من یه بار امتحان کردم، من تا همون لحظه واسه صحبتشون قطع کردم. حالا امیر میپرسه چرا نپرسیدی شکار کردی یا نه؟ چرا یه بار گفت شکار کردم، یک بار. نه برای شما ببخشید که اسم همتون رو نتونستم بیارم، فقط آقای علی عزیزی خیلی بله من در خدمتم. باشم آقا ما انجام وظیفه کردیم در هر صورت. این که واقعا سخته با یکی توی این رتبه آدم بخواد بشینه راجع به یه رشته تخصصی که واقعا ما در ابتدای راهیم باهاش صحبت بکنیم و اینکه امیدوارم که لذت برده باشین. تمام ویدیوهایی که صحبت میشه با دوستان، ببخشید البته ایشون خیلی بعضا توضیحاتشون بلند یعنی طولانی بود، من شاید نتونستم همه رو ترجمه بکنم، ولی خب اون نکات کلیدیش رو سعی کردم که عنوان بکنم که در اصل جان کلام یا اون هدف اصلی در اصل گفته بشه که صحبت ایشون. شاید خیلی با جزئیات بیشتر مثلا بعضی موارد توضیح دادن فرصت نیست، نمیتونم صحبت بکنم، یعنی اینقدر زیاد. من از ایشون نیم ساعت وقت داشتم، ایشون تقریبا از 45 دقیقه با ما بودن، وقتشون رو به ما دادن، شاید هم بیشتر. و اینکه امیدوارم که لذت برده باشین. توی آپارات ویدیو رو آپلود میکنم. و اینکه یه چیز دیگه هم بهتون بگم، یکی دیگه از قهرمانان غواصی آزاد تقریبا 15 روز دیگه مهمان ما. قابل توجه خانومایی که علاقه‌مند به غواصی آزادن، ببینم حدس میزنن کیه یا نه. من تا چند ساعت دیگه پستشو بذارم. و اینکه اونم خیلی جالبه. اولا که بخاطر که نمیشه بگم هیچ، خودتون حدس بزنید اول که بعد من براتون پست میذارم. ممنون از وقتتون، مرسی که یک ساعت وقتتون رو به من دادین. موفق باشین همه دوستان که اینجا اسمشون میاد و اینکه حالا کامنت بذارن و اینکه روز پنجشنبه آقای فلورین ایشون دومین رکورددار غواصی آزاد در بحث حبس نفس استیکاپنیا در جهان هستن. یعنی بعد از استفن نیکسوت که سال 2002 این رکورد زد، ایشون 10 دقیقه و 32 ثانیه حبس نفس میکنن. موضوع تخصص